Hi there. So today we are going to discuss about an often asked topic in palmistry, which is about matrimony, and if at all a person can see the troubles, the oncoming troubles in a marriage, whether the couple is likely to separate, whether their marriage itself is in trouble now, or if a divorce is imminent. Now, to answer the question, in Indian palmistry, you can to a certain degree see oncoming troubles. For this, we need to look at the right palm of a person. It doesn't matter whether it's a male or a female, the right palm, the right hand is what we'll be looking at to see whether there is any such indication. Now, one thing about in palmistry is that minor lines will tend to change over time. So, depending upon a person's emotional state, the immediate future ahead, lines will appear and disappear. That's the unique thing about palmistry. So, if you were to take a photograph of a person's palm today and compare it with something 4 or 5 years from now, it could be quite different. There could be 10 to 15% difference. But that's an entirely different topic anyway. So, today we are going to look at this example palm. I have drawn lines to make it easier. As you know, there are major lines in palmistry which don't change much, and we'll be using that to orient ourselves. So this is the right palm, and if you watch my other videos, you will know that the three major lines. This is the lifeline dealing with the age of a person. This is the heart line, deals with the emotional state of a person, and this is the line of intellect or the headline. And there are minor lines all around here, and one such minor line is the companion line. I have drawn it very dark, but normally it is very thin. This is a companion line which will be running parallel to a person's lifeline. A person can have more than one such line. Some people even have two lines parallel to this, like this. So a companion line is just that. It's a companion. It's a life companion. A person could be supported by a parent, a teacher, a close relative, or a friend, but oftentimes it is actually a life partner. So let's assume that this is a companion line of this person, and it represents that person's marriage. Now, to know whether it is just another companion or a person who's in matrimony, you need to look at the lines which connect the companion line to the other lines. So the more the connection, the more chances that they have an enduring formal relationship with the person. So let us say here, if there's a minor line, a thin line going like this and connecting here, it's a good indication that the person's matrimony, the formal relationship has started. And if for some reason you have a cut here, it could indicate that there is a break, sometimes a permanent break in that partnership. Now, in order to see whether it is a matrimonial break, you need to look at other lines. So as I said, this is the lifeline, this is the headline, and this is the emotional line, the heart line. Now, in order to see whether a marriage is going to have some kind of trouble, one area to look at is the end of this point. So this finger here is your index finger. Look right below that. Here the emotional line or the heart line comes, and usually it curves up and goes towards one of these three fingers. What it means is a different topic altogether. But here we are looking at the end of this heart line to see if there is any fork. And if indeed there is a small fork like this, and that fork slowly grows in time, that line is called the line of suspicion. So in most marriages, one partner may be suspecting the fidelity of another person, the sincerity of another person. They may not express it, they may not be very overt about it, but If they have a lingering suspicion, then that is shown in this line of suspicion. Some people have a really long line. Uh, The longer the line, the more sure you can be that the marriage is very rocky. Now, as I said, lines change, and in some people, the line can slowly reduce and vanish completely when the event of suspicion either goes away or the person's emotional state changes. Now, just because there is a suspicion line doesn't mean that there is something to suspect. It just means that the owner of this palm is suspecting his or her partner. Now, suspicion could be about the marriage partner, it could be about a business partner, but since here we are talking about the marriage, I would say that this line, if it presents itself in a rocky marriage, it means that this partner is suspecting the spouse. Second, look at the companion line and see if there is any break. Now, this suspicion line here, combined with a break appearing here, is an indication that this particular partnership is headed for rocky times. Now, the third place to verify, as I've told you in the other video, this line here under the pinky, under the small finger, is an indication of a marriage. People will have more than one line. Even a person who is in a single matrimony sometimes will have two or three small minor lines. They may have a tiny line here, they may have a line here. Those are all emotional attachments which come before and after marriage. They don't necessarily mean that the person is cheating. It just means that his heartstrings have been pulled here and there. But this being the major line indicates a person's marriage. Now look at the quality of this line, whether it's a straight line or if the line is forking. If the line is forking, like most books would say, it indicates trouble. The mind is deciding whether they should stay in the marriage or not. But here we are looking at something more serious. That is to look at a line which emerges from the mount of the moon, going up like that and joining, curving and joining the marriage line. This is a sure indication that the marriage is going down the drain. Now, as I said, none of these lines are certainty. They only give the indication of the emotional state of a person, and if there are oncoming events, one can always take course correction. So here's a quick recap. There are major lines. This is the lifeline, and this is the headline, and this is the line of emotion. Towards the end of the emotional line, you may find forks, and if there is a very thin line going further, that is the line of suspicion. That is something that one needs to worry about. In the companion lines, if there are any breaks, it also indicates that the marriage is coming to an end. It could be coming to an end for more reasons than one. It could be that there is a divorce, but it could also mean that one of the partners passes away. So in order to verify if it is a case of a divorce, then you need to look at any lines which are going up from the mount of moon. This is the mount of moon, the emotional mind, and from here any line which goes in and touches the marriage line. Now the marriage line here, it could be petering off like that, it could be forking, or it could be joining a line from here, as I said. So these three things, one here, another here, another here, could indicate an oncoming separation or a divorce. Look forward to your comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.